Sure. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing love today. Joy. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of joy right now, singing I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. Of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
It's been a minute since I've sung.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Can't hate your neighbor with your mind stayed on spirit. Can't hate your neighbor with your mind stayed on spirit. Can't hate your neighbor with your mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one.
Woo! Good morning, good morning. Yes. Happy spring, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Whether you are a mother or have a mother, whether it is a joyous occasion or a sorrowful occasion or a mixed bag, we honor you today on this day of mothers, yes? Yes. All right. So, Ahava is the Hebrew word for love. And we gather together every Sunday knowing that love is... That's right. I am Reverend Rainbow, so grateful to serve as your spiritual director and welcome you here on this beautiful Sunday. Let's give some love to our musicians, yes? Yes, we are so grateful to have our beloved keyboardist, Belle. Give it up for Belle. And our featured vocalist today is Justin Norris. Woo-hoo. And our community singer today is Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette. Yes, yes. We are a conscious community committed to curiosity so that we may provide a loving space to be reminded of the truth of who we are. We are an open and affirming community, so whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path of discovery, know that you are absolutely welcome here. And if you're joining us online, thank you for being a part of our global virtual community. Say hello in the chat today. Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let us know where you're tuning in from today. We have our volunteer chat host all the way from the West Coast, Alina, online with you today. So say hello and be sure to interact with her as well. Even if you're in the room, you can take pictures, go ahead and get out your phone. Just silence it first, yes. Take little video clips, post, like, share, subscribe, share the feed. All of those things really do make a difference. And there are ways that you can, with no cost and 5 seconds of your time, help spread our organic reach on social media so people discover us. And we are no longer the best kept secret in the bluegrass, right? Right? That's the old story. Now we are the hot and happening place where all folks who are awakening discover their spiritual community. So I am claiming that now. Are you with me? Yes. All right. And with that, you can stay connected. We have a Facebook group that is really interactive there. And you can also sign up to get our Sunday morning texts with reminders and our weekly affirmation. All right. Also, if you're here for the first time, we especially welcome you, knowing that your presence here adds to this collective field and makes a difference. So we would love to honor you. I know I met one new friend this morning, so please raise your hand and stand if it's your first time here. Welcome. Thank you. And stick around after service. We have some coffee, tea, and would love to get to know you more. Yes. Alois is bringing you a magazine as well, and I know you already filled out a connection card, so that will give you more information about us. Okay. We are so grateful for all of our volunteers. It takes a village, y'all. So we want to acknowledge our media team today. We have Jean and David and Amy back there. Give them some love. I said this a few weeks ago, y'all. They're not hogging those spots. They're happy to share. So if you're interested in being trained on the media team, see David and he'll get you connected. Also, a shout out to Heather, who's leading our youth today. Give her some love. And to all those who serve and give throughout the week, behind the scenes, our very dedicated practitioners and core council members really are the core of this community. So give yourself some love, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now is the time where we take a moment to reflect on our oneness. And I invite you to perhaps place your hands over your heart and to turn to someone and say, thank you for being a reflection of me. Thank you for being a reflection of me. And we have an amazing vision and purpose here, so I invite you to repeat after me. We are an inclusive community. Committed to global transformation, through personal evolution. And our purpose, let's do this one together. Ready? Wake up, step up, and make a difference. That's right. Today's affirmation, I will read and then invite you to affirm along with me. I nurture my dreams, turning challenges into growth. I nurture my dreams, turning challenges into growth. All right, so let's take a deep breath now. As we invite in the sound of that heartbeat of Mother Earth. In the warm embrace of this sacred land, our hearts overflow with deep love and gratitude for this land's ancestral guardians, the Ochi, Osage, Cherokee, Shawnee, Hopewell, and Adena nations. By acknowledging these stories, we celebrate the strength, adaptability, and unique contributions of each community to the vibrant mosaic of our shared heritage. We humbly acknowledge the historical wounds and traumas that have touched and continue to touch the lives of Indigenous communities. And in this present moment, our commitment springs from a well of love, respect, and the unwavering recognition of the inherent sovereignty of Indigenous peoples. We pledge to be attentive listeners, amplifiers of Indigenous voices, and perpetual learners about the rich diversity of Indigenous cultures, histories, and contemporary challenges. So taking a deep breath. I'm just inviting into this space, this field, this collective energy, all of our guides and ancestors to be with us now. As we move into our centering song, and our opening blessing, which will be led by our spiritual practitioner, Kim D'Amato.
I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am.
Breathing into that, remembering, to that knowingness, to that presence and power, this spirit that I call God, this force of nature, this source. I know that it is present right here and now and in every moment as love, as joy, as peace and freedom and abundance, as love, as infinite order as well. And breathing into all of that and that truth, I know that it moves through and as each one of us, each beloved member of this community that I call Ahava, this sacred space, and everybody listening within reach of this prayer. Breathing into all of that love on this beautiful Mother's Day, I breathe into the creative essence that is spirit, creating out of itself only what it knows, which is more and more love, more and more infinite and divine order in a variety of surprising and beautiful expressions. Breathing into the deliciousness that is spring, that is spirit, that is love. And I know that this connects each one of us and pours forth through and as each of us out into our community as our consciousness expands and rises together. I bless every single person who has made this service possible, every word that is to be said, every word that is to be heard, every song that is to be sung. Knowing that it is all good and that it is all spirit, I simply let it be by saying, and so it is. Amen.
I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am.
Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers in our collective. Thank you. This is from week 2, Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. All too often, our so-called strength comes from fear, not love. Instead of having a strong back, many of us have a defended front, shielding a weak spine. In other words, we walk around brittle and defensive, trying to conceal our lack of confidence. If we strengthen our backs, metaphorically speaking, and develop a spine that is flexible but sturdy, then we can risk having a front that is soft and open. How can we give and accept care with a strong back, soft front, compassion, moving past fear to a place of genuine tenderness? I believe it comes when we can be truly transparent, seeing the world clearly and letting the world see into us.
Lost touch with my soul. I had nowhere to turn, I had nowhere to go. Lost sight of my dreams, thought it would be the end of me. I thought I'd never make it through. I had no hope to hold on to. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I picked myself back up, hold my head up high. I was not meant to break. I didn't know my own strength. Found hope in my heart. I finally found the light to light my way out the dark. Found all that I need here inside of me. Oh yeah. I thought I'd never find my way. I thought I'd never lift that weight. I thought I would break. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down and I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I pulled myself back up, hold my head up high. I was not meant to break. I didn't know my own strength. There were so many times I thought I couldn't make it through the night. I thought I took all that I could take. I didn't know my own strength, and I crashed down. I tumbled, but I did not crumble. I got through all the pain. I didn't know my own strength, survived my darkest hour. My faith kept me alive. I picked myself back up, hold my head up high. I was not meant to break. I didn't know my own strength. I was not meant to break. I got to know my own strength. My own strength.
Yes. Woo, Justin. All the chills, right? Beautiful. Thank you, Belle. Thank you, Justin. Yes. So last week, Jenna kicked off our May series. Thank you, Reverend Jenna, for giving me a Sunday off last week. And thank you, Seneca, for hosting. Give it up for her. Yes. She's also leading our book study this month on this amazing book by Brene Brown. So stick around for that. So she kicked off this series, Raise Your Voice, by talking about what it means to belong. And to belong first to ourselves. And belonging not in a way of trying to fit in, but by embracing our authenticity. And trusting that we are enough just as we are, yes? So today, we're going to explore what it means to navigate the path of vulnerability. To walk in the wilderness. And when we say wilderness in this context, Brene Brown is referring to that unknown, that untraveled path, yes. So we're going to brave the wilderness, that often uncomfortable space where life truly is and experienced within. As Brene Brown so powerfully writes, true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance, right? So if we truly accept and love ourselves, we know that we can belong wherever we are, because it's not about out there and what other people think. It's about being whole within ourselves and belonging to ourselves. So let's take a deep breath. Because walking into the wilderness is not for the faint of heart. The wildness of being fully alive, fully seen, and fully human takes courage. Tremendous courage. And it may sound simple, right? Just be who you are. Like how, And the world tells us all these stories, and we've received all these messages about who we should be from life, so that sometimes when we get to be a certain age, we start to deconstruct and realize, who am I really? What is my authentic self? Have I just been playing a role or a part that I was conditioned to play? And there comes the journey into the depths of the wilderness. It demands a willingness to be vulnerable. And it asks us to stand alone sometimes, trusting first in that self-love, acceptance, and belonging to ourselves. It requires the willingness to do our deep work. Often when you hear the word wilderness, it conjures images of wild, vast space and untamed nature. And there is the often untouched inner wilderness within us, inside our own hearts, that raw space where our pain, our dreams, our hopes, our fears, our grief, our anger, our love, all reside together. And here's the truth. Most of us were not taught to navigate this inner wilderness. We were taught to armor up, to cover pain with anger, to bury hurt under distraction, and to swap vulnerability for outrage or vulnerability for performance. Brene Brown says it plainly. Pain will get our attention. We can try to drown it, beat it away, but it will find its way to the surface. The only way out is through, and the only way to heal it is to feel it. Say that again with me, y'all. The only way to heal it is to feel it. That's right. We heal not by denying our pain, but by acknowledging it with compassion, by standing still long enough to say, this is hard, this hurts, and I am still here, I am still whole. And once we get through it, to the other side of what may be a dark night of the soul or a period of intense grief or transformation, which most of you know is something I've been very rawly familiar with recently. But once we get through that, and with some time and distance and perspective, we can look back and we can say, just as that song and Justin beautifully sang, I didn't know my own strength, right? These times in life that challenge us also grow us. So for me, my grief allowed me to get in touch with and look at and heal. I should say I'm still in the process of healing. Obviously, it's not a quick journey. But to get in touch with some of those deep inner wounds and some of that inner child. You know, the loss of a mother is something that, unless you've experienced it, you can't really understand it. And it brings up that tender place of the inner child and its needs and wants that perhaps were met or unmet or not fully met. And for me, this brought up these feelings of anger, which is something that I was very unfamiliar with. My whole life, I was very, raised in this teaching, had a pretty blessed experience, and so I was little sunshine and rainbows, right? And anything unlike the positivity and the joy was something I was not really familiar with or taught the tools to express, so it just kind of did this, right? And then you get to a point or something happens in life that some of you may have experienced where there is just, you're brought to your knees and there's no more trying to control or suppress. It just is raw. It is vulnerable. It is real. And it can be disorienting. But I didn't know my own strength. Because if we don't allow ourselves to feel those feelings and use the anger as a catalyst, it will transform us into bitterness and resentment and exhaustion if we don't transform the anger into something productive. And I don't mean productive like making something, although art and creativity is a wonderful way to heal, right? But to allow it and to feel it. In the book of this month, Brene tells the story of Anton Lieres. I'm not sure if I said that right. It's French. I'm sure it has some kind of beautiful Lieres, yes. So she tells this story that after losing his wife in a terrorist attack in Paris, he wrote a public letter to the attackers, and he said, "You will not have my hate." Think about the strength and the vulnerability and the courage that took, y'all, right? To say, "You will not have my hate. You will not take my joy. You will not steal my spirit. You will not turn me into what I refuse to become." And this isn't about denying the grief or the anger, right? Everything comes in waves and it's circular, right? So it's not like that's the go-to. Like, no, I'm going to be happy even though this horrible thing happened. And with time, there gets to be a point where we stand firmly and rooted and ground back in the essence and truth of who we are. And it's time to say, no, this will not define me in a way that is not for my highest good. So this isn't about denying, but it is about using that experience as a catalyst. Because anger can motivate us to make changes, to take a stand, to raise our voice for good. And it can lead to deeper compassion. What I often talk about, that fierce love, that mama bear energy, right? Standing that for justice. So we are called to transform our anger and that tension into a life-giving power. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary for the world we are here to create. And with that point, I want to mention this past week, we had the Nehemiah Action with Build, the interfaith group that we joined this year. It was a powerful experience. Downtown, over 1,000 folks gathered from different faith communities around Lexington and their friends and neighbors. And we invited city council leaders to be there. 9 of them came, which was a huge success because even earlier that day, 4 had committed to being there. And in the past, often only a few have shown up. So 9 were there. And there were 3 asks that were made by our leaders towards these things that have been researched and through home groups and asking the neighbors what are concerns in our community, and then researched and said, this is a solution. Will you, City Council, support this? Will you make a plan in the budget? Will you work with us to show us the research and data, to hold landlords accountable? Will you support a network called The Village, working with this nonprofit to allow seniors to age at home by having resources to a network of plumbers and folks that can come and help fix your computer or hang a light bulb when often you don't know anyone or might not feel comfortable inviting a stranger in your house? Will you support a feasibility study on microtransit? Because as it was shared, Lextran got a 40% grade. I don't really know what they called it, but basically it's only about 40% effective. As many of you know, if you've done public transportation here, bus stops, buses, they're not reliable. Wheels especially has been known to be extremely unreliable, and that is for some of our most vulnerable population. So they committed to put money towards a study towards what has worked in other cities like ours so that we can bring that here. It was a huge success, y'all, and I had the honor of being able to speak the opening prayer that night. And a handful of folks came up to me afterwards like, wow, I really loved your prayer. And I have to tell you, I bet for most of those folks, they've never heard anything like that, right? What is this affirmative prayer? What is this? Someone came up to me and said, oh, I was standing next to Reverend Brian, my friend and colleague from the Universal Unitarian Church, and they're like, that was a prayer even the UUs could get behind. And we're like, yep. So these are ways that we can take that, the frustration, the anger, the upset of what isn't working, and not just complain amongst our friends or feel riled up until we then have to go numb by, self-sabotage or whatever just because we can't deal with the tension anymore. We can funnel it into something productive. And it feels wonderful to be a part of this group because we also can't carry the load ourselves. So we are among one of 26 and growing faith communities that are part of this organization. Yes. Another act of braving the wilderness is daring to stay open when everything in us wants to shut down, right? When we encounter people who have different beliefs or politics or ideas, who think differently than us, who have different experiences, vote differently, it's easy to want to just turn away, shut the door, and armor up. It's that default kind of protection of the human ego that says, you are other, I must stay safe and just find myself among others like me. And change comes when we are willing to be vulnerable and take courage to stand among those who are different and see the beloved in all. Brene Brown offers a radically different practice. She says, when discomfort arises, when defensiveness creeps in, she invites us to say, tell me more. Tell me more about your story. Tell me more about why you feel this way. Or tell me more about why that matters to you. And not to agree, or not to try to change them, but to simply have a moment of connection, humanity, and perhaps understanding. And what I know is through understanding opens the door for healing, yes? So I had the opportunity to practice this the other day when I was outside my place and a neighbor comes into the parking lot and he's carrying this thing, and honestly it came out of my mouth before I kind of realized what I was saying. But I was like, what is that? And it looked like a gun. I'm not very familiar with guns because it was like plastic and it was big and had different parts. And I was like, is that a toy? Is that a paint ball? I don't know. And I was like, oh, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's an AR, assault rifle. I was like, okay. Now I have built a rapport with this neighbor. And I feel very safe with him. So I didn't even feel any whatever, but I was just like, I got curious because I was like, really? It looked like a toy, y'all. I was like, okay. So I find out that my young adult black male cheerleading coach neighbor is a gun enthusiast. He's also, y'all, just don't you sometimes, people fascinate me, right? Like that blew my mind. And he starts telling me about it and the parts, and he has an engineer mind, and he likes to take different things and put things together. And So anyway, he was leaving with this gun and putting it in his car because he's going to be moving back to California. And he's like, well, this is illegal in California. And he's telling me why. Because this part is shaped this way and this is there. And he's showing me all this stuff. Because I was like, I don't know guns. I'm not familiar, But he told me the whole thing. And so he was on his way to sell this gun. And it allowed me to just sit in that space, right? And be like, tell me more. Tell me more. But I also preface that, right, with I already have a rapport with this neighbor and I feel safe with this neighbor. But it was an opportunity for me to learn something new and to see a perspective from someone else. I don't think I've ever been that close to an assault rifle before, but now I have. And perhaps it will be a little less scary if I ever have to be again, right? So understanding is how we build bridges in the wilderness. It is how we transform conflict and not just resolve it. So we have so many opportunities these days to practice that, don't we? And the idea is, how can we lean towards being solution-oriented, possibility-focused, instead of trying to go back to the way things were, because that's kind of impossible. We are always growing and expanding and evolving. So how can we get on board with what we are trying to create and allow something new, something better together? Belonging begins within. None of this is possible without self-love, self-acceptance, and self-trust. The level of belonging we experience in the world will never rise above the level of belonging we grant ourselves. At the end of this chapter, Brene Brown has a nice section where she interviews Viola Davis. I highly encourage you getting the book if you haven't had it and reading that in depth. But I'll summarize a bit for you. So, Viola Davis is a true, courageous wilderness soul. And she puts it beautifully when she says, this is who I am. This is where I am from. This is my mess. And this is what it means to belong to myself, right? She shares her stories, the failures, the shame, the victories of her troubled and very life-filled journey. And she says by her willingness to share her stories, she knows that her daughter will never feel alone when she comes to traverse the wilderness, to know that this is a path that we all walk in some way or another. So the more we are willing to share our stories, to be vulnerable, to be seen, allows others to know that they too can have the courage to walk the path. When we belong to ourselves first, we can show up fully for others. When we accept our own imperfection, we can embrace the imperfection of life with more ease. And part of belonging to ourselves, maybe the hardest part, is learning to trust ourselves, especially if we've experienced any kind of trauma or abuse or PTSD or something that has caused us to kind of separate from ourselves or our own inner knowing or being, or to distrust. The journey towards self-trust is a path worth forging, because trust is the fertile ground, the foundation for our courage and strength to grow. If we don't trust our own inner voice, it becomes almost impossible to stand up and speak out and show the world who we are. We must first know ourselves, trust ourselves, and believe in ourselves. Because if we don't trust ourselves, we second guess, so then we stay silent and we shrink back. When we do trust ourselves, we take up space. We speak our truth, and we advocate for the world that reflects the love, the dignity, the justice, the equity, the peace, the unity that we know is possible. Building self-trust is not just a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. So I'm going to give you a few steps if this is a journey that you are walking that may allow yourself to move forward more productively. So the first step in building self-trust is to keep our own word. Start small, right? When we say we'll do something, even just in our own inner voice, we haven't written it down, we didn't speak it out loud, no one else knows. I'm going to wake up at 7 tomorrow and I'm going to go to the gym and work out. I didn't tell anyone. When I wake up feeling a little groggy, am I going to do it? Or am I going to say, well, I have to admit, there's been many days I've said, well, but I'm working on it, right? So start small. Maybe getting up early and going to the gym is a little bit of a bigger step. Maybe it's I'm going to wake up and I'm going to take 3 deep breaths and center myself before I put my feet on the ground. No one else knows. But when you wake up, will you remember and will you trust yourself to do it just because you said you would? You set that intention in your own mind. When we say we'll do something for ourselves, do we follow through? Or do we get distracted by the needs of others on our way to the gym or making that healthy meal? Something comes up, and do we put others' needs in front of us, or do we follow through? Integrity with ourselves builds that inner confidence. So the first step is to keep our word to ourselves. And these small little things that we may think, well, it doesn't really matter, no one really knows. Another way to build self-trust is to listen. Spend time in stillness each day and ask, what do I know to be true in my heart and soul? Getting to know ourselves again. Another practice I like to do is journaling or reflecting on this sentence stem. The deep desire of my heart is, right? Just getting familiar again with who we are and what we desire. Next is to speak up gently. Practice saying what we think or feel in a small or safe group. Maybe out with a group of friends or some folks here around coffee, someone says something and maybe they reference something that you're not familiar with. Instead of just laughing with everyone else, it takes courage to be like, I'm sorry, what? I don't know who that is. Can you tell me more? Even though we might feel like embarrassed, like, well, everyone else knows. I don't know what this is. I'm not going to say anything. That is an example of building self-trust and courage, being vulnerable. Sometimes we can think that these things are these huge acts, right? But it starts in these small moments interacting with our community and with ourselves. So begin to speak up. Practice first in small, safe spaces until your voice begins to grow stronger. And the more you practice, the more you use it with love, the easier it becomes to raise your voice. And lastly, celebrate the small wins. Notice when you do trust yourself and acknowledge it. Right? Build evidence that you are trustworthy in yourself. Our mind seems to easily keep track of all the little mistakes. Or, oh, I posted that and misspelled a word. Or, oh, this mistake or that and the other. Can we just as easily begin to repeat in our mind our wins, our celebrations? So these are the steps towards self-trust. Because the more we trust ourselves, the more we step fully into our divine power. And that is the power we need to allow to be expressed and create the world that works for all. I invite you to repeat after me. I no longer shrink to fit the fears of others. I no longer shrink to fit the fears of others. I will not abandon my own voice. I will not abandon my own voice. Second part of that, to please others. To please others. Let's put that together. I will not abandon my own voice to please others. I will not abandon my own voice to please others. And lastly, I trust myself and I speak my truth. I trust myself and I speak my truth. So the invitation this week is, are you willing to walk into the wilderness of your own heart, even when it's messy? Are you willing to do the work to transform your pain into purpose, into something productive through art and creativity, through coming together with others that love and trust and support you? Are you willing to trust your voice, your heart, even when the world feels loud and confusing? Walking into the wilderness may seem scary, but remember, you are never alone. There is a presence, the infinite source of life itself, that walks with you as you. The divine, the infinite, the unseen love that called you into being, into expression, to know itself more fully. You are never alone. Every time you step into the unknown, every time you dare to be real and raw and whole, you are a part of something much bigger than your own inner fears, because you are a part of healing the world through authentic being and divine love. So let's remember this week to stay focused on solutions more than problems, and possibilities instead of probabilities. Not ignoring the injustice and pretending everything's fine. It just means refusing to stay stuck in the outrage and asking, what is the next right step? What is mine to do, be, or become? And shift from complaint to creativity. And here, in that place, we stand in our power. So let's get about what we are here to be about. Are you willing? You ready? Let me hear you say, yeah. Yes. Say, oh, yeah. I am me. I am free. And so it is. Let's pray. Come on up, Bo. Y'all, I went last night, I don't know if anyone's seen on Instagram, there's this woman from Los Angeles that goes into nursing homes, brings her beatbox, and she raps, and she does all of this, and like she's been banned in some places, but you see the light of these folks. I'm like, yeah, you guys, we can't treat our elders like these little tender things, like we've all lived a life, right? And so anyway, she's extremely cutting edge, but really fun and playful. So I think I was channeling a little bit of that when everyone say, yeah. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Yes. How good it is to recognize the one life, the one presence, the one power for good in the universe, the spirit of life itself, that is love, that is strength, that is power, that is wholeness. Knowing that this one life is all that there is, I know that this is the very essence and nature of my being. That this is the very essence and nature of all of life. And therefore, this love, this wholeness, this power is the truth of each and every one of us. So it is from this place of oneness that I speak this word now, allowing the love of Spirit to shine forth uniquely in, as, and through each and all of us. Knowing that we are here to raise our voice in a way that only we can, to say and be and express and to do the things that we are here to do as the unique being that's had the experiences we've had, that has the talents and the skills and the interests that we have, so that we can express spirit into this world and allow for the highest and best vibration to resonate throughout the universe. So I know declare and claim for each of us as we do this work of braving the wilderness, that we come through it knowing our own strength and power, allowing all of life's experience to be that catalyst for good in our own families and communities, to be the divine expression of life itself in the fullest. So I'm so grateful for this now moment to be here now, to be seen, to express, and to be fully who I am. I'm so grateful for the fulfillment of this prayer as I release it into the action of the law that always says, yes, my beloved, yes, it is done. It is so. And together we say, and so it is, yes. Let's sing. Wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
We let
it be. Yes. So taking that deep breath right where you are, I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable, or just find a way to turn within and to get in touch with any sensations in your body. This is our moment of embodiment. To notice how you are feeling right now. And then to begin to move and express, to allow any gentle movements in the body. As we bring back a little bit of music and tinkering, we begin to fully connect mind, body, heart, and spirit. Noticing any hot spots, cold spots, itchy, tingling, tightness, swirling. Placing our energy there and allowing us to organically move that. If we're feeling the need to release, what movement would allow that release? If we're feeling the joy, the bubbling up, rise, what movement would express that? We are human beings having the spiritual experience, but let us not forget our humanness and our physicalness. And how can we embody all of this? Stepping into that courage to express ourselves in a way that perhaps may not be comfortable, but feels authentic. Taking another moment to move, to express, and then finding stillness. And reflecting now, how do you feel? Just scanning the body again from the top of the head down to the tips of the toes. Notice after this brief embodiment practice, if you feel more alive, energized, perhaps you've awakened something or gotten in touch with something that is to explore more. No judgment, just notice, just dropping in. Taking another deep breath and opening your eyes. Yes. So now we're going to move into our moment of connection. I invite you to find someone in the room or turn to someone next to you and to share something that spoke to you today, something moving through you that you want to share with another. So let's share. If you're online, you can put it in the chat. If you're in the room, make sure that everyone gets a chance to share. So switch partners if you haven't switched sharing yet. So take another moment, begin to wrap up your share. Thank you, your partner, for their sharing, for their courage and vulnerability. Yes. So we're going to move now into our time of conscious giving. Some of our core council members will be passing a basket in the room for you to share of your gifts and tithes this day. And we also have an opportunity for you to give online. You can text the word give to 859-209-6996 or go to our website and there's a giving tab there. Thank you so much for your support for continuing to fund this amazing community. So let us now do our offering affirmation, and I invite you to switch the slides, and then I know Amy, you just keep getting, Amy's getting her money. That's okay, just keep going. You can just put it all in there. All right, repeat after me. Divine love as me. Blesses and multiplies. All that I have. All that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to the vision of Ahava, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Yes.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me. Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful for many opportunities coming up to connect. This Saturday is, that's fine. We'll start with that. Today is our book study. I'll go with the slides, not my notes. Today is our book study. So even if you didn't sign up in advance and you're here and you want to stay, you can join in the bookstore, library, classroom, workshop room. We need a name for it. Anyway, in the room there after service for about an hour. And if you're at home and you signed up or you want to, go ahead and sign up online through our website there to get the link to join on Zoom. So we'll be both in person and on Zoom. This Saturday, May 17th, is our embodiment workshop. So our very own Deborah Feinsod, who is not here today because her child is in town visiting for the weekend for Mother's Day, so they're spending their precious time together. But Deborah will be leading us in this workshop. So that moment of embodiment where we talk about, right, moving a body, being free, if that is something that is slightly uncomfortable for you, this is going to be a 2-hour experience to courageously deepen in that practice. Deborah has experience and a degree in expressive arts and movement therapy, and will be leading us in a wonderful practice together. So it's a safe space wherever you are on this journey of embodiment. It's not about dancing. It's about feeling, being, and expressing. I highly encourage you to show up this Saturday. Sign up in advance if you can. 1 to 3 in this room. We'll clear the space. She's putting together a wonderful playlist, and it's all on donation basis based on her generosity and giving back. It all comes to Ahava. So thank you, Deborah, for that offering this Saturday. Mark your calendars. We have coming up on Saturday, June 7th. Kim, will you stand up? Yes. So Kim and her husband, John, they're also the duo known as Fireflying. You've heard their music often here. Are hosting Aaron English. He's a singer and songwriter from Nashville. We've had him as a guest before. For a house concert at their house. Yes. Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, we're really excited about it. We're going to make sure the piano's tuned by then.
Okay. Tune. He is. Yes. And your home is beautiful. If you haven't been there, it's like this kind of loft style, really open layout that the acoustics are just, it's amazing. So sign up for that. And it's also a benefit for his charity, International Music Youth Project, where he helps to support children around the world getting access to music lessons and instruments and cool stuff like that. So just $25 for a night of amazing music, and we'll have some little refreshments and stuff as well. So make sure you sign up in advance so that you can get the address and details, or talk to Kim if you have any more questions about that. That's going to be June 7th, Saturday night. And then it's a double hitter because that Sunday morning, Aaron will also be the guest musician and speaker. He travels around to many New Thought communities singing and speaking. So we'll get to see all sides of his talent. And I'll get to be away on a girls' trip. Yay! With my besties from Chicago from 20 years ago. So I will miss being with you all. And I'm grateful to have other talent to serve so I can have some fun as well. We don't have a slide for it yet, but I do want to announce that our next class, also, Kim is the featured member today. Kim will be teaching our next class, The Mystical Path. This is brand new curriculum through Centers for Spiritual Living, all about, are you a mystic? What does it mean to be a mystic? Studying some of the mystics in the world and how you can use that as a path for your own mystical journey. It's 6 weeks online. Sign up in advance, and again, talk to Kim about that. It's going to start June 5th on Thursday nights. Yes, yes. Yes, so that will all be coming out this week in our e-newsletter and all the places so you can start to register for that class. I'm excited about it too. It's a new class. Yeah, it's brand new. We got to do these new classes. Yes. All right. That's it for the announcements, I believe. Oh, Kyle, come on up and give us an update on your fundraiser. So as he's coming up, Kyle is one of our core council members, and he is in charge of fundraising. He announced a few weeks ago our goal this year of $6,000 in fundraising. And
All right, so can I get some volunteers to help pass these out so that everyone can see where we are with the current fundraiser?
Yes.
And then give me a few for, just give everyone one, and then I'll give a few to the people on stage.
Great.
If y'all can pass those around. All right, so a few weeks ago I announced that we were going to do a few fundraisers, and the current one that is happening is the matching fundraiser, where I'm going to match $1,000 as people give to that specific fundraiser, which you can do online. And so the first week we announced that we had raised $100, which was about 10% of that goal. And as you get your cards, you'll see where we are in week 2. We have surpassed, to me, I think we're ahead of schedule. By week 2, we have raised 63% of the goal, $630. So thank you all who has given.
Woo-woo!
Yes.
so $630 actually already equals $1,260.
Because I've already given my match to match the 630.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Kyle's he's matching it as it comes in up to 1,000. And here's my goal, right? I was like, if we get to 1,000 before the end of the month, then there's someone else in the community that perhaps will match the match, and we can keep doubling it. So that is another way to hold the possibility. Yes.
Yeah, so thank you all. And as I write these, I like to put little affirmations on the back that, seem to align with how I see the world. And, I feel like, whenever I was announcing this a few weeks ago, the thing that spoke to me was trust the timing of the universe. So that's why I put that on the back. But we also have a few more people joining our fundraising team. Deborah has joined, Ron has joined, a few others have said they want to join. So if you're interested, let me know, and we can get you on the team and start meeting to come up with more ideas and see how you can get involved. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll also say we met this week and we're starting the planning of the holistic fair. So that's going to be a really big thing for our whole community, bringing in vendors from all different modalities and highlighting those of you in the community that may do or make or create something around wellness and creativity and wholeness for a holistic fair. So if you're interested in being a part of that, talk to Kyle as well. We're building a small team to help reach out to possible vendors and all the logistics that go behind that. But
Yeah, we're thinking about September for the
yes, we're looking
date,
at end of September. We're going to narrow down a date soon. Oh, yes, and we have a soon-to-be licensed massage therapist that perhaps can debut at our holistic fair. Very cool. Awesome.
so
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you, Kyle. Yes. And lastly, I know it's a little announcement heavy, but it's all good stuff. We are going to be at 2 festivals coming up. So we have Diverse City, the Diversity Festival downtown. Ahava will be there with a booth, and we're looking for volunteers to pass out affirmation cards and just share the love of Ahava. Bernadette will be there as Prisma the Clown, doing face painting balloon animals for the young ones. That is coming up on Saturday, May 24th. Tanisha, another core council member, you can see her. Let her know if you're available and interested in signing up for a time for Saturday, May 24th. The following weekend, June 7th. Yes, the Saturday before the concert and the night during the day, that afternoon is Richmond Pride. And we also have a booth at that where we'll be passing out affirmations and information. So if you're available for one or both of those, see Tanisha and we'll get you on the schedule. Yes, thank you. All right, we have licensed spiritual practitioners who are here to support you through affirmative prayer, as well as offering one-on-one sessions. So Kim today will be offering prayer over here. You can also drop a prayer request in the prayer box or online, and you can pick up a card if you're interested in scheduling a one-on-one session with one of our practitioners. Okay, let us now stand if you're willing and able as we speak our closing benediction. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my affairs.
Life is in my affairs.
I accept it.
I accept it.
I am it.
I am it.
And I share it.
And I share it.
Just the way it appears.
Just the way it appears.
And just the way it appears not.
Just the way it appears not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Yes. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this wonderful, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Woo! All right, join us after service for some coffee, tea,